Light was on first.
Thank you. Dr. McIntyre, I know we talked some last month about this. I believe, now, if I say something that's incorrect, I'm sure you'll correct me, but I think we talked about it in terms of being a guide in place. As Ms. Kincannon said, most of the items, not all, but most of the items would be individually voted on, such as the balanced calendar. And we talked a little bit about why you did not want to postpone it, but I got to thinking about it. With almost half of the board going to be new members next month, do you not think that they would like to have an opportunity to take a look at this plan? I mean, I'm sure they've taken a look at it, but they would like to have some input, I would think, on something that's going to affect their term of office. After all, basically, it's a plan that you and staff have put together with suggestions from the board here and there. What would happen if we didn't rush through it, if it were to be postponed until next month? Are there any penalties that would be imposed, any fines? Would we lose any funds or anything?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. McMillan, I'm not aware of any fines or any penalties associated with that, but this school board has worked on this strategic plan for the better part of a year, and this school board has approved it on first reading, and I believe the majority of the members of the school board would like to see it through. And it is a document that speaks to our strategic direction as a school system. It is a document that guides our educational decision making and the work that we do on a day-to-day basis. And we're about to start a new school year, and this is the time when people are planning and thinking ahead and looking to the future. And I think having our strategic plan in place will be very beneficial.
But thank you. But if it were to be delayed 60 days, it would not have a significant impact on us having school. Would you agree with that?
Would not have a significant impact on our having school?
Right.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, we would, if for some reason it were to be put off, we would have school open up. We do the things that we normally do, and I assume that, you know, we would do whatever you directed the principals to do, and probably, I guess, if we absolutely had to have some plan, we would temporarily operate under the old plan, would we not?
Well, Mr. McMillan, I think the reason why we have a strategic plan is so that we have developed a vision and a strategic direction that we can work toward and move toward. And, you know, we have 8,000 employees in the Knox County schools, each of whom makes dozens, if not hundreds of decisions every day that impact the education of our children and the direction of our school system. And you know, I think it's vitally important that we have a plan in place that can guide those decisions.
I don't think that they're going to be those employees, nor the children are going to be significantly impacted if we did not have a new plan in place for 30, 60 days. You know, that's my opinion. You're entitled to your opinion. I guess at this point, I would like to exercise personal privilege and ask that it be postponed.
I'm going to call a short recess and convene with the superintendent to see whether I will overrule that. Thank you.
You would.
Yes, I need to, Mr. McMillan. I'm sure it will come as no surprise to you that I don't want, that I intend to deny personal privilege. I think I should remind you that you and I took office with a strategic plan already in place that we did not vote on either. And every item in that strategic plan that required a vote, we had a voice and a big discussion and voted on. And I think it is critical that we have done the work of this plan and that that school leadership and our community need to know what our plan is. So I'm denying personal privilege. You can ask the member of the board, I guess the board, to overrule me.
Well, first of all, one other thing that I meant to say was that this, to me, this is very similar to a lame duck Congress passing legislation. It really is, and I understand what you said about that there was a plan in place, but that plan had been in place for some time. It wasn't passed at the last minute. It's very rare, number one, to invoke personal privilege. Number two, it's very rare for it to be denied.
Yes, sir.
Can I ask the law director?
Point of order, Madam Chair. I don't think there's he made a motion. You overruled it. There's no motion on the floor. So, accept the motion to approve the strategic plan.
That's true.
She made a motion. Was there a second?
I didn't.
She made a ruling.
I made a ruling. Because
did you not make a motion?
I made a motion to approve the strategic plan, and that's what we're discussing now.
Was there a second to it?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
Well, can I ask the law director a question?
Sure.
In your opinion, is this proper? Does the chair have the right to do that? It was my understanding that we always had abided by it being an automatic privilege that any member could exercise, and we've gone by that to the best of my knowledge, it goes back more than 2 decades.
Mr. McMillan, reading from policy BCBD, Board of Education policy, states that, I'm sorry, I just had it a second ago. Any member of the board may request that an item be moved from the consent agenda. The board may, by unanimous vote, add items not previously included on the agenda. So that's consent. Now here's the pertinent section. Any member of the board may postpone an agenda item for 1 month unless the director of school and the board chair, that would be the executive committee of the Board of Education, declare the need for emergency action at any time. There's no further clarification within the policy as to what that is, so it would be within the discretion of the board chair and the director of schools as to what necessitates emergency action. So yes, the ultimate answer to your question is yes, it is proper because there's nothing in the board policies which would say it was improper.
Thank you. Are you declaring it an emergency, Ms. Fugit?
Yes, sir. I denied privilege.
Well, no, you didn't answer my question.
Yes, sir.
He said that it had to be deemed an emergency. I asked you, are you declaring it an emergency?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Carson.
Oh, boy. My turn. All right, so we're back